Sent back, didn't they?
But this is the Live to Die shirt. A lot of people wonder what it looks like, and a lot of people wonder what it means. And if you really want to know, I guess you can ask us.
If you wanted to,
go ahead, ask us what it means.
If you wanted to buy the lipstick that girl's wearing, what shade is that?
Oh, it's a cheap crayon.
Yeah, I think it's crayon red.
Yeah, it took us a long time to draw these on with a crayon. This is not actually a silk screen.
No, this
shirt.
is not. We do each of these by hand.
Right.
Really.
That's why they're $35 each.
Right, right. $35.
$350 each.
Low budget.
Okay, let's get
quality.
Let's get a little serious. Not too serious because we don't.
Could you speak up over here? We can't hear you.
What? Let's talk about the music behind both these LPs. Show No Mercy. Now that was, some of those songs were actually from some of the old Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay, which you guys, for those people that don't know, were Matrix before you became Bride. The same people, just a different name. You know, Protect the Innocent, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What song do you think stands out in your minds as not necessarily your personal favorite, but the one that you think really gets the message across about the whole underlying?
On the new one, probably Thunder in the City.
No, that's the old one.
That's the old
Yeah,
one.
I mean that's what I said, except in a different way. I said it backwards.
Yeah, Thunder in the City.
Yeah, but if you said it backwards, it'd be a different way. So why would you want to say it backwards?
Well,
when you
I
could just
don't
say it the
agree
way
with
you
you at
said?
all, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Probably Evil That Men Do. No, that's
Forever in Darkness. No, Now He Is Gone.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Fly Away.
No, Show No Mercy.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, that's the one that
Well, that's
stands
the
out.
title cut. That was easy.
Yeah, that
Right,
was easy.
right. That's the one that most people enjoy is Thunder in the City.
Well, what does Show No Mercy mean in the context of a Christian heavy metal album?
Dale wrote it. Let him
Show No
explain it.
Mercy is about spiritual warfare, about whenever you're needing something and you're praying for it, and some of the complications that a guy has to go through sometimes to get a prayer answered. You know, it's stuff like that.
Okay. Well, on Live to Die.
So what does it really mean?
Well, it's
Yeah. Exactly.
well, can we move on?
Yeah. Live to Die is the next album.
Yeah. We haven't got any more but this one.
Yeah, this is the only one we have.
They pressed 500,000.
Yeah, 500.
No, they pressed 5. This is one of them.
That's why we are going into the second press.
What happened to the other 495,000? That's a little. On Live to Die, again, I would imagine the title song "Live to Die" pretty much states what you're trying to do with this creation. But what does "Live to Die" again have to do in the context of the point you're trying to get across?
What is it? Ephesians. In Ephesians somewhere, it says, "For
To
me
live is Christ, to die is gain," which is basically, you're living for the Lord, and when you die, you have no fear, because if you live for the Lord, then you go to heaven.
And you have another life to live, which is.
That's profound.
But I'd like
But
to
if
not
you really
get,
want to think of it.
was it philosophical?
Philosophical.
Yeah, I'd rather not get philosophical.
They never
We'd
can
rather
get
go
enough
ahead
fiddle.
and do this
Never can.
interview, if you don't mind.
Yeah, can we move on?
On the inner sleeve.
That's all we've been doing is moving on. Let's take a break.
On the inner sleeve, you have that's musicians that always want to take a break. On the inner sleeve, you have a lot of names.
Oh, yeah.
These are people in prison that.
You
Not
have
really.
You have a
Just kidding.
Cut. Take 2.
What was your question?
You have a substantial mailing list inside the Live to Die LP, or a lot of names that I'm told are from your mailing list. Do a lot of these people, when they write you, what are they curious about? What is the most asked question that you get from fans? Not just those people, but people when you're on the road, etc.
What would you think? The most.
Who is Bride? What do they do?
Right,
What do
what
they
do-
stand for?
Yeah, most people want to make sure that we're a solid band, that we're dependable, that we're not going to go off on some wild frenzy and not give them something that is meaningful. But Bride will always do meaningful songs, something that people can
Relate to.
relate to, put into some type of spiritual aspect.
Now you've had some pretty distressful calls from people before, seeking some type of guidance. You want to elaborate on that, of course, without naming names or getting into specifics or anything.
Well, I've got phone calls, girls that are going the next day to have abortion, people thinking about suicide, people whose families split up and they're very depressed. Depression is something that triggers boredom, and boredom triggers addiction, and addiction leads to death. And
And I've answered a lot of calls and letters. Not a lot of letters. Dale answers most of the letters, but I've answered a lot of calls about people who have problems with drugs. One guy wrote and said he had a problem with certain other things that we won't go into, but we deal a lot with social problems that kids are having.
right, we started off really, wanting to spread the word about the Lord and everything, and as it went on, people proved to us that they had a lot of problems that didn't really deal with Christianity, that was just social issues, and we're thinking more seriously about addressing social issues and trying to bring these out in relation to a
Spiritual.
Christian walk.
So where the church leaves off and maybe wouldn't deal with some people, you guys kind of pick up the slack, like, well, of course.
Right, we are hoping that we're hitting the hardcore audience, the people that
So
we're their last hope.
you guys are eating with the scribes and the Pharisees.
Right, and they eat pretty well.
Okay, the Heavy Righteous Metal compilation LP, which
Okay.
is a pure metal
Of
release,
this.
has a Bride song on it. Yay!
Right, Metalmite, written by none other than Scott Hall, our former bassist.
And this compilation LP has how many total bands on it?
1, 2, 3,
10.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
10.
One of which we have did shows with, which is Tempest.
Tempest. Let's plug Tempest.
Tempest, good friends of ours.
We've also done a show with Saint.
Oh, and the Dango Band.
And then, hey, we've done shows with all these people.
You almost did a show with White Cross. too.
Almost. We may do a cross with
White show.
White Show. Gavin, Ray, if you're watching this, we're trying our best.
We really are.
Gavin Morkel was the executive of Live to Die, and John Petrie was the producer on Live to Die, just to get those guys.
Pete used some other people as well, hasn't he?
Right, he's worked with a lot of secular artists, and he's now working quite a bit with pure metal. John is an excellent producer that we hope to use in the future.
Very good, very good.
You think that'll beef up our next production?
Probably not.
Okay.
Let's cover it.
Breathing awful heavy, Dave.
Okay, Dale, let's talk a little bit about your creative process. You write primarily all the lyrics.
Which way should I look?
Look at your shoes.
Oh, okay.
Because they're the focal point of this interview.
Okay.
This is a foot band.
Right, a foot band. Okay, go ahead.
Your creative process, what's your inspiration for your lyrics? Do you listen to other music? Do you walk in the woods? Do you sing in the shower? What's...
I hate the outdoors, so I don't walk in the woods.
Okay.
That was kind of a silly remark.
Yes, it was.
Uh,
I'd rather scratch it, but we'll go on.
Right, we'll go on since we can't edit this. My influences come usually, I'll just be walking along and lyrics will come, I feel like I'm on a boat. I always get these inspirations as I'm on the sea. But I'll get inspirations from, and I could be in the shower just singing the Flintstone cartoon or something like that, and these inspirations will come up. Sometimes I'm without pencil and paper, and I have to rush to a telephone and call Troy and hum something to Troy or tell him so he will remember, because I have a lot on my mind right now, like this hat I bought. Okay.
Okay, who's your biggest influence?
My biggest influence, I like the what? Oh, I can't say that. Okay, I like the Kerry Livgren Seeds of Change album. It was the very first one that Kerry Livgren done, and it was and it was
Wipe that off his arm before.
and it was the best Christian rock album ever made. Of course, Kerry Livgren is from Kansas, and now he's playing an AD.
I thought he was from L.A.
I don't know. He's blonde. He could be from Sweden. I don't know. Okay. I like Kerry Livgren Seeds of Change album. It's the best in the world.
One last thing. A lot of your fans.
Oh, we just got into this interview.
One last thing on the Dale segment.
Yeah.
A lot of people who have stayed with you for a long time, with obviously the extensive mailing list you have, many of them have. What made you decide to make the transition from playing and singing to just singing?
Basically, I like to enjoy myself on stage, and playing a bass guitar, which I did in Matrix and partially in Bride, was like packing around a human body. You know, it's hard to move with a bass guitar in your hands and trying to stay on the microphone at the same time. So I decided, in order to
Pack a human body instead.
right, I decided just to pack a human body around and throw small people out in the audience. But that's basically the reason. I enjoy moving around on stage and being free and such.
Does it let you expand your vocals as far as range?
Yeah, extremely. Yeah, because I move around in the weirdest fashions when I sing in order to hit certain notes. So with the bass guitar, if I'm singing and I have to move in a weird fashion, I would probably lose the microphone.
So you take care of yourself better.
Right.
Jared talks
Right. And I'll live longer too. That
Plug.
Right.
That's a non-bait.
Right, because I had the tendency of running into people on stage because I played the bass guitar up so high.
Right under his chin.
Are we fading?
Okay, we're rolling with Troy. Actually, we're rocking and rolling with Troy
Yep.
now.
Just on this bed.
Yes, the musical bed. Well, Troy, I want to ask you some of the same things I asked Dale because
Sure.
I'm really a boring person basically. Can't think of anything else. So.
Innovative questions.
Excuse me,
Yes,
could
he
you maybe read my review?
Uh-oh.
River City Rocks magazine.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky, own magazine. That's my picture in it. Okay,
That's good enough.
go ahead.
Okay.
I think it was too long.
The creative process. You write primarily all of the music. There was another person that disappeared that wrote some of the music on the last one, but you write primarily.
Monster got him.
Monster got that guy. Let me tell you.
We've seen that guy, but you write primarily all the music. And what is your creative process? Where are you most creative? When do you get the inspiration for songs like Show No Mercy and so on?
Inspirations come in cycles with me, and it's like sometimes I'll like go through a long spell without having any inspirations at all. But most of the time I'm just sitting in my bedroom. Lots of times I'll go driving in my car, put the top down, just take off, and I'll get an inspiration that way. But it's usually from just sitting in here rehearsing. That's usually where I get my inspirations from. And then Dale will hum things to me over the phone, which I never know what he's doing. I never have figured that out. Like that.
Maybe he's just lonely.
I think he's lonely.
Who was your biggest musical influence as you were developing as a musician?
Well, if I don't say Dale, he's going to be upset. No, I really didn't have a lot of musical influences. A lot of music teachers helped me.
So you had a lot of formal training?
Yeah, I played music all through school. Played, several different instruments.
No,
and
he
stuff
doesn't
like
know.
that.
Explain.
He knows. He knows me. This guy
Oh.
knows me.
How many different bands have you been in?
I can count them on one hand. A long, long, long time ago, me and Dale formed a band called Core Band. The horriblest band in the world. I was probably 16. And,
Those tapes are for sale.
those tapes will never be for sale.
You can't buy. You send me $100 bill, you might get a cut.
No way. We won't let anything that raunchy leave. And then I was, then I was with Matrix, and Matrix evolved, metamorphosized, however you want to put it, into Bride. So that's how Bride started. So I've really only been in 2 bands with 3 names.
Ah. Got it. Okay, we're here with Dawson, the guy with 2 last names.
Right.
No, there's only one, but really, if you think about it, there's 2. But if you really want to, it'd be Dawson.
Dawson.
Yeah.
Good.
Good answer, man. This
Good
guy's
answer.
working in better than we thought.
Okay, what's the, how did you become the latest member of Bride?
Well, I tried out.
I hate short answers.
Explain
No,
yourself.
there's a music store down in Clarksville, and this guitar teacher down there gave me my phone number, so they gave me a call, and I came down and tried out. And,
Was it an obscene phone call?
well, I won't say, but yeah,
I mean, they didn't call you names or anything.
I won't say.
Okay. Who's your biggest musical influence? Have you been in a lot of formal training?
Yeah, I played classical piano for 12 years and violin for 8 years.
Violin.
Violin.
Yeah.
Violin. V-I.
Violin. People kind of get confused.
Yeah.
Do you write on the piano?
Yeah.
and then transpose it to
It's
guitar.
covered with
No.
writing.
I take my.
Don't be
I take
writing on a grand piano.
No, I don't mean do you deface your piano. I mean, you write. In other words, do you write on the piano and transpose it to guitar, or vice versa, or both?
Yes. I take from the piano and write it onto the guitar.
Dawson, can I ask you, do you hear that voice that keeps asking this question? I don't see anybody.
I've been looking around. I can't find you.
Tell us about the initiation.
We're related to this.
Well, it was pretty weird because they had this big ball of fire. Remember that?
Right.
They had a thing of fire, and
Had to
they made me
walk through-
stand in the middle of it and pour gasoline over top of me. Then they made me run, which didn't help too much.
Did they roast marshmallows on you?
Well, yes.
Oh no.
But you notice his hair.
It's pretty interesting.
You still got your eyebrows though. I don't know if I believe that. 'Cause I know the last guitar player they had, he doesn't have eyebrows anymore because he didn't.
And why's that?
No,
He didn't do very well in the initiation.
Oh, he didn't?
No, he slipped and fell.
I think I did pretty good. They haven't told me yet. That's still,
You're still alive and you still got your eyebrows.
yeah. So I got something going for me.
Okay.
I guess you're wondering why Stefan Rowland and Frank Partipello, our drummer and bassist, is not here. Well, as you've seen earlier in the video, they went out looking for the thing that keeps
Taking the band
taking
members
the
away.
band members. So they're still out looking for them right now.
They shoot up flares from time to time, so we know that they're
Right.
alive.
What was else that we were talking about?
One thing that we want to get across is that the albums that you buy contain the message we want to portray. This video is designed so that you can see us in our own environment.
In other words, this isn't some type of spiritual fulfillment video.
No, this is just like if you was to come to our house, we're pretty nutty. This is how we would act. We want our fans and people to know who we are.
We're
because-
human beings.
And what we are.
Yeah, we're
and
human beings. We're not
No, I said beings.
beings. We're not human beings.
Human beings.
Oh,
With a G.
but our albums contain our message, and if you ever want to talk to us over the phone,
We
Or-
can be serious.
we can be serious. And if you ever write us a letter, we always personally write back. So you will get a sane response that way. But that's not really how we are.
Speaking of albums,
Okay, so how really are we?
Well,
That didn't make a lot of sense.
we'll avoid that one.
Okay.
speaking of albums, what's the future hold for Bride, tour-wise and album-wise and music-wise?
I'll let Dale answer that.
We don't really see a tour as such. We see a lot of various shows scattered around the nation in different time dates. We don't see anything, a constant tour. The new album will be a ways off. We have yet to begin writing seriously on the album. We have a lot of ideals floating around, total different musical direction because of this gentleman here. We'd like to break him in and make him feel comfortable. So we're going to let him experiment a whole lot. But basically, we're really anxious to get back into the studio. We enjoy writing probably more than anything. We will be doing some shows all around the country, and it should prove very unprofitable. I mean, profitable.
How's the
Very
style?
unprofitable.
How's the style shaping up for this album? What's going to be harder? More?
Probably not. It's going to be more grooving.
More groovy. We'll still throw in a thrash song for those people that like to mosh, and
Mosh.
Mosh it up.
You got an English accent all of a sudden.
I don't know why.
I can't figure out.
They wanna
I don't know why. I'm screaming. But
This is
most of
rather
it will be real groovy music with extreme heavy beat and screaming guitars and nice melodic vocals again. As you-
Yeah,
You know those
very articulate, understandable.
right, Pavarotti vocals that you're used to.
Well, it's been a long night, and